Good evening, I'm Lauren Sanchez.
I'm Marie Quilbon. A Century City parking structure is the scene of a murder investigation tonight.
A woman attacked and killed on a busy late afternoon. Susan.
My 13 News.
Now to the vicious attack on a 15-year-old girl in Montclair.
The teenager was leaving school when she was dragged into an alley and raped. Al Nipel. A mother grieves for her son who was killed in Iraq, and to make matters worse, his insurance payout was tied up at IndyBank. Some of it protected, but a lot of it wasn't. As Hal Eisner ran the street, they pretty much knew right away that it wasn't a bomb. Now investigators are focusing on areas of Jerusalem as their own. How can we forget the image of a huge hole on the side of a Qantas airplane? Now we're learning the cause of that near disaster could be something that's on board every jetliner. Well, it has been almost 2 decades now since a child was conceived for the sole purpose to save her sister with a bone marrow transplant. The idea was a radical one at the time. And Gigi Gross. Speaking of distance, my camera's in Taiwan right now, and all distant runners know the importance of staying well hydrated.
Right? I mean, this is not something you're supposed to be doing in the heat. I mean, you could pass out. Some stuff could happen to you.
Yes, Marie, I don't think you're supposed to run and chug beer.
Don't try that at home.
Yeah. Okay, they drove from Missouri to Wisconsin for a summer vacation and didn't spend a dime on gas.
And to put a Land Rover through its paces.
Yes, fish are glowing in the dark along the boat docks of St. Petersburg, Florida, but don't be alarmed. It's not the Homer Simpson Springfield nuclear plant type disaster. As reporter Mark Wilson shows us, it's a man-made attraction. I've ever ate was a chocolate-dipped pig's foot. Let me just say, it's not something I would recommend. Oh, yeah.
This one's from Tony and promoted. The strangest thing I've ever eaten was some sort of a plant with a steak. It was really, really strange.
Right now.
Good evening, I'm Lauren Sanchez.
I'm Rick Garcia. It happened more than 11 years ago, but tonight people still out talking about it.
The 5.4 earthquake hit before noon near Chino Hills, but it is to the south where many houses were damaged. Jane Yamamoto News.
Today's quake is considered to be moderate, but it sure shook the Inland Empire with intensity.
In Pomona, windows broke and portions of a brick building crumbled. All right, now to the north and another natural calamity with 350.
13 News.
Overseas, another frightening flight on board a Qantas jet.
And thousands of pilgrims defy the threat of violence in Iraq.
TV.
Former Bosnian Serb strongman Radova Karadzic has been extradited to the UN's War Crimes Tribunal. He's in the Netherlands tonight, but before he left, his supporters showed how much they didn't want him to go. There are large cats, there are fat cats, and then there are ginormous cats.
I started shaking. I was scared and trying to make sure that I didn't burn my forehead.
I slept through the quake, and I live in Chino Hills. You must have had a rough night there. My mom, Rosa, woke me up with her screams. My head still hurts.
I was working. I'm a chef, and I was doing prep. Happened like the bad ones. You don't want to feel those.
Were you at home? You were at home?
I was at a business meeting at an office.
Business meeting?
Yes. Well, it's business.
What?
There's one more quake moment you gotta see.
That's the story, by the way.
We'll be right back. I'm Rick Garcia.
And I'm Lauren Sanchez. A man strolls down a Long Beach street armed with a gun. Officers take him down.
But this is not your everyday officer-involved shooting. The man down is a cop, Chris
Mente.
An obscure county agency today announces it will investigate the shooting death of mailman Kevin Wicks by Inglewood police.
This even as friends and family remember Wicks's life at a wake for the motorcycle enthusiast. Most evacuees return to their mountain homes today as firefighters gain ground on the blaze near Yosemite National Park.
Shweta, my 13 News.
Overseas, Iraq can go for the gold after all.
And a major player in the Middle East peace talks is stepping down. Those stories.
Ever get hooked up to a lie detector test after having a few beers? Just ever get hooked up,
If I was
period.
single and just was me and my buddy, sure.
Well, why not when you're married? Wait a second. What does that mean?
No,
what does that say about you?
Because I wouldn't be out going to parties. Drinking
yeah,
stuff.
good. Please.
The solution for the
No
blue.
good because you're eating the comfort food, but then like an hour later you feel bad because you're 5 pounds heavier.
Well,
what?
I don't know. I think guys are different with that. I think they eat less when they need comfort, when they're depressed. That's my theory.
I think women, that's called the breakup diet. We get skinny when we're having a bad
That
time.
is?
That's what my girlfriends tell me. Hey, talk about snail mail. A letter sent in the 1940s is returned to sender after being lost for 60 years.
Lunch.
And the people from Iowa are supposedly really nice, I hear.
Maybe they're not so nice.
Well, interesting fact. Once you have a baby, forget about free time with yourself, much less with your sweetie. That's why more couples are taking one last relaxing getaway before their first blessed event, a getaway known as Baby Moon. Make love to a camera. Did you see her? Like, she knew every angle,
Really?
I like that. Gorgeous woman. And she's being sued. Cheech and Chong reuniting sounds like we're just blowing smoke, right? Well, think again. Again and again. I'm Lauren Sanchez. Thousands of state employees fired or given a pay cut.
But can the governor enforce his drastic executive order? Ed Lascos kicks off. We do not have breaking news to tell you about. We'll maybe get to that story a little later on. But now to a case of child abuse in Anaheim Hills.
A couple is accused of repeatedly torturing their own kids during the past 6 years. As Al Knight games till someone gets hurt, and when he was asked to throw in 2 more cents on the paparazzi and celebrities. Whoa, we're moving a little bit. LAPD Chief William Bratton threw in a quarter with this flippant remark. And little dog lost, little dog found. This
Ball to My 13.
Some stories are seemingly too shocking for words, and what happened on board a bus in Canada is one of those stories.
Horrified passengers scrambled to get off the bus after one man did the unthinkable. That's seen it just on the computer.
Well, I don't know. That guy, I don't know if he was talking about seeing it in person or in computer.
Well, turns out man's best friend is also a pretty good stepmom. That's a good one. The bank accounts of the oil industry.
Simple.
That was it.
Simple. My mom's beat up 4Runner. It's nothing but a moving junkyard. It's a gas guzzler, and she's too short.
Did you see it? Well, if you were in San Pedro this morning, it was pretty hard to miss. The 200. He lost his arms in an accident. Now doctors are changing his life.
And vacation almost turns into the Poseidon adventure for passengers on a cruise ship. Those stories and
You did that very well, I must
Thank
say. Chinese officials say the threat of terrorism is their biggest concern during the upcoming Olympic Games. That's why security in Beijing is already so tight.
petty larceny. Stamp that. Yeah. Just leave her up there when you do that, sure.
Well, it was better than the...
You're
that's
right.
not nice, Rick.
I'm sorry.
Play nice, please.
Okay, yes.
Hey, you know what? Santa Claus has no problem going down a chimney, but please don't try it at home, especially if you're drunk. What, Mark?
Familiar, the dough.
Oh, yeah.
It
They
does.
stamp it over my face all the time. I
an
think they're
echo.
trying to tell me something. A doorman at a Washington state bar was just doing his job. No ID, no alcohol. Even if you're the state's 61-year-old governor. Well, animal handlers at Washington, D.C.'s National Zoo have been on edge lately, waiting to see if Zhang, the giant panda bear, will give birth. And for a moment there, they thought the blessed event had arrived. Matching attire, it gets kind of annoying after a while. They work at that. You remember that lemonade place? You guys know what I'm talking about.
That's
you know
a hot dog on a stick.
That one, hot dog on a stick. That's annoying attire.
It is. Listen to my mother-in-law. She's the...
Would show up. We had to take him to lunch and pay for him. That's so weird because whenever Rick asks me out to dinner, he always makes me pay. Is there a rule?
I thought that was the rule. That was...
So not cool.
All right.
So not cool.
George in Boyle Heights writes, I don't work, but I'm in the...
Well, there's a new rule in the game of golf. Big ol' lumbering black bears get to play through